With Squid Games Season 2 just around the corner, I think it's about time that I share with you all how I myself experienced and survived the New York City Squid Games. Squid Game the Experience is an official Netflix attraction located at Manhattan Mall at 100 West 33rd Street. It's in the heart of K-Town, which is honestly really fitting since, the show takes place in Korea.
LOL.
But unlike having to wait at an abandoned corner and entering a stranger's van, we just took the MTA. I found out about this experience through an Instagram ad, and I knew immediately that I wanted to participate. Hell, I even sent an audition clip for Squid Games the Challenge on Netflix for their Season 2. Homie was robbed because he didn't have the balls to call out the selfish players. As an early educator, I'm constantly playing red light, green light with my students. I'm also constantly teaching them that pretending to get shot and dying isn't part of the real game. If you're interested in this experience and might want to try it out for yourself, be warned because you'll be spoiling it for yourself while watching my video. I scheduled my time slot through their website for my family and girlfriend, and we all didn't know what to expect. As soon as you enter the building, there was a photo opportunity with the large doll Young Hee. We grabbed a few photos with her and the piggy bank full of money before continuing. As you make your way in, the scenery is changed to look like an outdoor Korean market. Not only was there exclusive Squid Game merchandise being sold, but also a lot of Korean imported snacks, which I thought was really cool. It added to the experience that we weren't in New York anymore, but somewhere else. As I was browsing around, there was this one woman in a suit walking around eyeing everyone with a briefcase. At first I was like, who the f*** is this woman walking around? But turns out she was actually an actress in costume. They were portraying the recruiter from the show who challenged the potential contestants with a game of dachi. They even had people try the game before their scheduled time slot. Well, minus the slapping, of course. An intercom announcer voice, similar to the one in the show, made the announcement throughout the market that our time slot was about to begin. We joined the line and grew more and more excited for what was to come. A Squid Games guard opened the door and motioned for us to enter. As we entered, we were given these thick green wristbands to indicate our player number. After getting the wristband, we scanned them at a machine and got our pictures taken. They continued to herd us into the sleeping corridors, and a guard gave us a welcoming speech. The guards didn't actually speak, but instead moved their heads to align with pre-recorded dialogue. As he spoke, our photos and numbers appeared on the screen above him, and he told us that we will be playing about 5 games. There were to be no physical contact, no rough playing, and they advised us to not be on our phones throughout the entire experience. Whoopsies. We walked the white hallway to the Blue Danube Waltz, just like how they do in the show, and entered what appeared to be the glass floor game. Our game host told everyone that we won't be falling through the floor, but we will be shown all the safe tiles to walk on for a few seconds before they revert to all look the same again. Sounds simple enough. But I got so worried about memorizing the safe squares at the end of my line that I didn't pay attention to the ones that were safe at the beginning of my line. I think I lost after my 3rd jump. Majority of the people within our group didn't make it, but my sister memorized enough tiles that she won the first game by being the last person standing. Game number 2 had us enter the Dalgana room. There was a 5-minute timer on the wall, small circular tins on the tables, and each table had a different shape. Needless to say, everyone avoided the umbrella shape. I chose triangle, and someone from our group joined alongside my girlfriend and I. We were told to open our tins, and instead of seeing a sugary honeycomb inside there, it was filled with marbles. The announcer then explained that we will be playing against the people at our table in a game of marble toss. If your marble does not land in the shape on your table, you leave it there. If your marble lands on the pink lines of your shape, you collect all the marbles that are on the table. The game goes on until you steal all your opponent's marbles. This game was a lot of fun, and low-key made me want to play more marble games. When time was called, we poured whatever remaining marbles into the machine and scanned our wristband to convert the marbles into points. We were shown our scores on the screen, and damn it, my sister is still in the lead? Anyway, game number 3 was Battleship. Similar to how Squid Games the Challenge handled it, we were split into 2 teams and chose which boat we wanted to sit in. Unfortunately, we couldn't place the boats in our own spots, but I figured the enemy team wouldn't even know where we placed them, so whatever.
Keep going. You're good. You're good.
There was a lot of whispered yelling at each other when deciding where to fire, and I'll admit it was kind of hectic at first. But my team was able to select the correct coordinates and win the game with only one boat to spare. And that was it. I mean, I'm not asking to play tug of war from a height of 100 feet, but the game is just Battleship, but bigger. We now enter the last large game room and see the glowing eyes of young Hee in the distance. Pretty intimidating, low-key. If you don't know what this room is, this is where we will be playing Red Light, Green Light. I low-key wanted the Korean Red Light, Green Light song to be sung, but the doll just says red light and green light like how it does in the English dub. There were these large gift boxes scattered on the playing field for what I assume would be used for cover when the doll says red light. However, I thought I'd take my chances and I decided to run like my life depended on it rather than hiding behind them. The game began and we all started running to the other side of the room. The doll turned its head and I immediately froze in place. While I was frozen, I was genuinely so nervous to move. You really feel the weight of tension during the moment as the doll quietly scans the room. Now, I'm not a sore loser, but my number was called saying that I moved when I felt like I didn't. I shrugged it off and I walked over to the out corner. One of the people in my group was even trying to talk with our game leader about how the doll is messed up and that he didn't move either. It kind of made me realize why the actual Squid Game guards just go straight to shooting the ones that moved. My godfather was actually the few people standing in this game, and he shared with me that he didn't even want to look at the doll in the eyes. He crossed the finish line all nonchalantly, and our final game was done. But there was one more room/scene before the finale. We needed to get ready for our last meal. We entered the dining hall, and the front man was there waiting for us. We all chose a chair that had a silver tray in front of it and waited for instructions. The front man reviewed the score and said the person in first place was my sister. But that wasn't the end of this experience. The front man said that they can't in good conscience just give the victory to someone so easily. My sister had to press a large red button and it randomly selected a rival from our group to go against her for the finale. We watched the lights spin around the room and the person it randomly selected was my mother. There it was, mother versus daughter. The woman who brought life into this younger woman, now battling against her own flesh and blood. They had them stare at each other, which added more to this dramatic tension, and the final game to determine the winner was Jack in the Box. My sister and mother took turns pressing the button, and whoever the light landed on had to reveal the number that was under their tray. Then, pick who had to crank the Jack in the Box that many times. I thought to myself, this isn't fair, because if it was my sister up against some random person, you know damn well I'd choose the other person to crank the box. But it wasn't a random person, it was my mother. Thankfully, when I was chosen, my tray had the number 0 on it, so it didn't matter who I chose. A few rounds of this continued, and as my mother was turning the handle of the Jack in the Box, out popped young Hee, and strobe lights started to shine. The frontman has officially declared my sister to be the victor of our Squid Games. He awarded her with one of the elitist animal masks, an envelope, and our game leader escorted us back to the market area. We all congratulated my sister, and she hugged our mom and shared how the experience was actually very nerve-wracking for them. In the envelope, my sister got a 20% off coupon on anything in the marketplace, and a free drink at the VIP lounge. She shared with me that in the VIP lounge, there are a bunch of screens to watch other people play the games that we just played. You could pay extra for the VIP room, and the staff will give you a bronze animal mask as opposed to the winning gold one. But I thought to myself, why would I want to associate myself with those awful people? At the market, I bought some really interesting Korean chips that I tried on an episode of the podcast I have with my friends.
They're not bad.
That's a snag right
The texture is interesting.
I also got this guard mask to hang and to remind me of this experience. It's placed right next to my La Casa de Papel mask that I got from another experience a few years back. I kinda like masks. And that was it for this experience. If you like the series, I highly recommend playing it with a large group of friends. I asked one of the workers how long this experience will be up for, and she said that they have the building for an entire year. So if any of you guys who aren't from New York want to try this next time you're here, The experience is going to be here till November 2025. On top of that, you're still in K-Town, and you could walk around and try some of the various Korean cuisines and desserts. There are also shops that sell Korean imported products, such as skincare, books, and clothes. Thanks for staying and watching the video. Are you excited for the new Squid Game season? Would you win this Squid Game experience? Let me know in the comments. Hope to see you again later.